Hello, Shannon Dablis here. So I've just gotten our delivery of our hissers, and I just want to show you how I'm going to set up my basins and get them all ready here. So my basins look a little bit different than yours, but the same idea. So I am going to, first off, I'm going to take a little bit of petroleum jelly here. All right. I have set up my cage, so I've got like, I just had some extra stuff. So, I had some rocks and some little bit of the substrate and stuff that was in there. I gave them a climbing stick. I had just a little tunnel, but you can use like a toilet paper tube is fantastic, and they really like that. I filled up the bottom of a cup. I just cut that off, filled it up with a bunch of cotton balls and some paper towels underneath that. So that's just got some paper towels under there, and kept it nice and wet so that way they can drink really easily out of there. This is just some lettuce. Okay, it's not a huge leaf. I just took a little bit of lettuce leaf off of the salad bar, and I got a nice little slice of orange there. So they're all just hanging out. These are some that we already had in there. I'm going to be adding to them. Just to demonstrate real quick, how do we pick them up? First off, you don't have to, but they do, you do want to be able to touch them and stuff, and they're not really gross, but it took me a while to be able to pick them up. So one of the things you want to do is grab them really close up to the front of the head. Okay, really close up to the front of the head. You don't want to grab the back because you can't support them. Their legs aren't there. And so you want to grab them there. Oh, they have a face just like an ant. All right, so it's kind of interesting. Those legs do have a lot of hairs on them, so kind of like a grasshopper. They don't bite, but they will prickle. They won't poke or anything like that, but they can be prickly and they can be ticklish, so just be prepared. Now, as you see, when I've got them up here, not a lot of squirming going on. Those antennas are definitely going on. And then I can just kind of move them wherever I need to go. So I'm just going to put them down on this fresh orange slice that I also got off the salad bar. Oops, sorry, buddy. He rolled over on his back. Oh, sorry about that. There you go, roll back over. Okay, if you don't really want to pick them up, that's not a problem. They're very happy to maybe, scoop them up into the toilet paper tube or what have you, okay? So I'm gonna finish getting my cage set up for these new arrivals. And so I'm gonna take some of this petroleum jelly, and I'm gonna get some on my finger here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around the very top edge, and I'm going to smear this petroleum jelly all around the top edge. Yours don't have holes at the top, okay? Mine I got when we were doing the training, and so mine look a little bit different. But I want to have about a 1-inch smear of petroleum jelly all around it because they can't climb it. And so if they try to get up there, they won't climb up on the lid. You don't want to have somebody open the lid and have this guy drop down on the ground. The nice thing about hissers is they're very sturdy. So unlike crickets, they don't smell. And if they get dropped, they're not going to lose a leg. So that's good. They're also not super fast like the horrible invasive ones that we have in like lunchrooms and stuff. So these are rainforest creatures. They don't bite. They don't carry diseases. They're more like a roly-poly. So when you see them kind of curling up like that, they'll probably look kind of more roly-poly-ish to you. So I'm going to put this petroleum jelly all the way around. You should be receiving petroleum jelly in the mail. Your librarian, your LMA, will have that for you. And we're just going to get that petroleum jelly all the way around up at the top, so that way they don't get it all over themselves. All right. So now that I've got that petroleum jelly, I'm just going to close that up, okay? And then I'm going to open up my hisser container. So it's got tape on all 4 sides. All right. I'm just going to kind of grab this real quick, and I'm just going to cut the tape. I'm going to cut all 4 sides so that way I can open it and take the lid off completely. Now it's possible, once we open these they are going to be in here. So it's possible one could be on the lid. And so I'm going to just kind of put it inside the container And that way when I open it, if anybody's on the lid, they're just gonna go in the container, okay? Oh, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Let's see, give me 1 second here. There we go, 2 hands, all right. So we're gonna open that, and I'm gonna open it, like I said, over the top, and let's see if anybody is inside on the lid. Nobody on the lid, but right there is where our first male is. Okay, so I've taken the lid off, and I'm just gonna go, shoo, come on, get out, go on, go, shoo, shoo, good, okay. And there should be 4. So sometimes they're wrapped up inside the paper. So again, I wanna set the paper down. All right, so there's 2. So there's definitely 1 in the paper, and there's this nasty old potato that we wanna get rid of as soon as possible. Come on, buddy, come on. Come on, you're gonna be, oh, thank you for crawling off the top. Oh, hiss at me? Oh yeah, you're hissing. All right, so I'm trying to get him, and ooh, he's mad, okay. All right, so I'm gonna let him just kind of scoop him up on my hand. There we go, that's it, that's it, that's it. All right, and then you wanna crawl down. Thank you. Get rid of this nasty, smelly potato. Hey buddy, come on out. Again, I'm just gonna coax him out. I know, you're so angry. All right, why don't you come on out? He doesn't want to come out. All right, so we're gonna go with something for him to climb on here. Come on, buddy. Yeah, I don't want to hurt you. Climb on here. Look, something to climb on. Come on. Come on, climb on that. You can do it. There we go, and he's in. Okay. All right, so now that they're in, they're gonna go hide somewhere. Now this guy's already trying to get towards that top, and he has hit that petroleum jelly, started sliding, and so he's gone. All right, I'm gonna make sure we don't have anybody hiding in here. Oh, there's that guy, he just came out. So I'm gonna unroll it again over to make sure nobody's there. Okay, nobody's in there. All right, so let's make sure we got everything set up. We have some fresh lettuce every day. You can ask your zoologist to put in the fresh lettuce. And we've got a fresh piece of orange. I've got a little bit of dog food in here somewhere. The cup you really can't see. I got to replace the bottom tray. So I've got a little bit of the dog food, just some kibble bits there. The fresh water, sometimes this gets changed out every couple days. I have a place for them to hide, okay? And what I'm gonna do every day is I am going to spritz this with some water, okay? They are rainforest creatures, remember. And so here in California, we are just really, really dry compared to what they need to survive. And we want to keep them moist so that we're going to be able to watch them molt and possibly do some other things. So I'm just going to make sure that I get them sprayed on a regular basis with a little bit of water, okay? And so I'm just going to grab my water spritzer here, okay? And I'm just going to spray the edges of the tank, making sure that everything is nice and moist. Oh yeah, a little bath for you, okay. And it's interesting because even though they're the rainforest creatures, they don't really like to get wet. And so like that one just backed off into there. So everything's nice and wet and shiny now. So again, this can be another thing that your zoologist does. They take out the old food, they put in the new food, they check the water, make sure it's damp, refill it every couple days, and then they spritz the tank, okay? They spritz your basin. And then once that's done, we just put the lid on, and it is escape proof. If you're concerned about it being tipped over or anything like that, you can put some little binder clips on all 4 sides, so that way if it gets tipped or knocked, nothing's gonna happen to them. All right, so let's take a look at some of our ladies now. All right, so we have some of our new ladies. You can see I have not put the petroleum jelly, and so she is up here. She doesn't have the little bumps and the horns on her dark part of the front area. And so that's how you can tell the girls from the boys. The boys have horns. So we've got fresh food in there in a little dish, or you can cut the bottom off of a Dixie cup and put it in there. So the ladies, it's especially important for them to have the mist because they might have the young nymphs in their bodies. They are larger than the males. And you want it to be damp enough and warm enough for them to feel comfortable laying eggs and giving birth to their young. If you feel like, wow, that's a whole lot there, you can take these ladies, you can put them just, back in the container or in another container, and then you can pop this whole container into the freezer for 2 days, and then that will take care of any young that they would be disappearing. But you do want some young. You want to be able to have the kids see them molt and grow. We have really large, very large full-grown hissers, very expensive, that are highly sought after in the exotic pet world. And so they're going to be, we want to make sure they're happy. So I'm going to put the petroleum jelly around their cage. I'm going to spritz them probably a little bit more often than I will the males. We want to make sure that they don't get too cold. They like it kind of dark, and they don't like vibration. So, a quiet area, and then see how comfortable they can get. And what's cool is the kids, you can see in your trays better than we can in ours. The kids will be able to see them coming up and eating. These guys just arrived, and so that's why I gave them orange, because they're probably very thirsty and very hungry. So again, find your zoologist who is going to be up for handling or feeding or just, opening the trays and being comfortable with that. You don't want one that's going to try to pick it up and then all of a sudden freak out because they dropped their little buddy here. Hi, come here. Oh, yep. Oh, no, trying to hide. Okay. So, here they are. They're just happy in their cage. They're just going to be eating and hanging out and trying to hide. I'm going to put a toilet paper tube in here and make sure that they are also comfortable. Going to put some water right now to make sure that they are not dehydrated upon their arrival. If you have questions, please email our science team, and we will be happy to come out, help you set up, help you get comfortable with them. And our FOSS professional development people, they're also out and about doing lessons and demo lessons or coaching and seeing that, how you're doing with those too if you want. So I'm going to move this food over there. And so give us a call in any way that we can help, and we'll get you acclimated to your new exotic pets, and your kids are going to be so excited. Thanks. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.